What's up, Raptors fans? Welcome to the Watch Report. Yes, it's my third video in 2 days. We've been getting a lot of rumors about Raptors lately. Unfortunately, we wake up to some bad news this morning. We find out that Pascal Siakam will be out for 5 months due to a shoulder injury. Now, this definitely hurts not only Pascal Siakam, but the Raptors team as a whole. We knew the Raptors finally get a long offseason in which they can train and try to get better, and Pascal Siakam himself said that he has a lot of room to improve his game in certain areas, and he'll do that. Now, unfortunately, this sets him back and also impacts the Raptors in a huge way. So for today's video, I want to talk about how this impacts the Raptors and the different options going forward and how this is going to change the entire offseason. So before we get into the details of this video, you know the drill. Give this video a thumbs up as it helps reach more basketball fans like yourself across YouTube. And if you want to hit that subscribe button as well, we're so close to 1,000 subscribers. You get the latest Raptors news, rumors, and other updates as well. With that being said, let's get into today's video. So the Raptors did provide an update regarding Pascal Siakam's injury. They announced Friday that he actually went through successful surgery last week to repair a torn labrum in his left shoulder. And they also talked about how the shoulder injury occurred on May 7th versus Memphis. So it's been a while he's been dealing with this injury. And now they're talking about the recovery process and the rehab time as well, and it's expected to be around 5 months. Now this impacts the Raptors hugely because we talked about how Pascal is going to come back stronger off season. He's going to have a lot of time to train. He's going to get better. He has obviously his shooting he needs to work on, improve on, and other areas as well, but also because he is the leading scorer for the Raptors. Now, although he should be back at the start of the season, close to the start of the season, he is going to have to load manage throughout the season. We know the Raptors really like to keep their players healthy. Now this impacts the Raptors in a huge way because, as I've mentioned, he is our leading scorer, and now someone else is going to have to take that lead when he is not playing, and it's unfortunately we're just going to have to load manage him throughout the season, and it hurts the Raptors because a lot of us fans were really excited about next season being back in Toronto, being contenders again. But now that we get this injury, this sets Pascal Siakam back, so we don't know what he's going to be like after he returns from injury. So I want to have a look at some options the Raptors have to replace Pascal Siakam for the time he misses with the Raptors recovering from the injury. So the first option is a very obvious option. It is to slide OG Anunoby at that power forward position. Now OG Anunoby is a 3-and-D, but he's shown the ability to play power forward and even centers as play the center position in small ball lineups. Now we know he's a really strong defender. He's physically can defend bigger guys, so that is something the Raptors can do. They can play him at that power forward position and not have to worry about him giving up size. He's a really strong defender as well, and he's really quick, so he's a versatile defender. He can guard some of the bigger players. That would be one of the options. The next option would be Chris Boucher. So I think the Raptors could easily slide Chris Boucher from the bench into the starting role while Pascal Siakam is out. We've seen him play in the starting lineup before. He does a tremendous job. He's obviously familiar playing the power forward position. That is his natural position, so I think he would be really good in the lineup. I think that would be amazing for Chris Boucher to finally get full-time minutes and see what he's capable of, and he's going to be improved a lot this offseason as well. He's got a lot of things he can improve on as well, put on some weight, so I think that would be really interesting for the Raptors to slide him into the starting lineup of that power forward position. We know he can hit the three, we know he can block shots, so it'll be really interesting to see how he does with our starting unit. And let's talk about the next option now. The next option is through the draft. As you see, Scottie Barnes there, he's a power forward, but he's played the point guard position and he can pass as well, so that is one thing the Raptors can consider. Not only Scottie Barnes, but consider drafting a power forward in this year's NBA draft. Now you may say, well, we have Chris Boucher, we have Freddie Gillespie, Cam Birch, who are all centers, power forwards, but I think this is different with especially guys like Scottie Barnes, because when we do lose Pascal Siakam, we're not only losing his scoring, he's a good passer as well. And Scottie Barnes, I've mentioned this in my draft video as well, he reminds me a lot of Pascal Siakam. His passing game is amazing. He's a versatile defender. He can do a lot of things Pascal does outside of shooting, but he's a good passer. He brings you good size. He's a good defender. He can guard 1 through 4. He's shown the ability to do that, so I think he would be a really good addition to the Raptors to replace the lost time for Pascal Siakam. And not only that, but the good thing about drafting a power forward would be you can play him while Pascal is out, and then you can move him to the bench or have him sent down to the G League to give him more minutes, and you know they're not going to be complaining about time because they're young players coming into this league. They're just going to go with what the coach tells them, so that would be one of the bonuses of drafting drafting a power forward. But I do want to talk about our next option as well. Another option the Raptors could go in this offseason is signing another power forward. Now, the power forwards, they're not that great, but we don't really need a dominant power forward. We do, as I've mentioned, we lose some production from Pascal Siakam, but I do think that opens up shots for guys like OG and Anunoby and other players as well. But this is the list of some of the power forwards that are available in this offseason. I think looking right off the bat, if we can, I know Lauri Markkanen is a restricted free agent, but if we can sign him, he would be a nice addition to the Raptors. He can play the backup role, insert Chris Boucher into the starting lineup, or someone like PJ Tucker would be nice, but I don't see him coming just because he's stated he's at that point of his career where he wants to contend for a team that's going to go for the championship. So I don't see PJ Tucker, but Paul Millsap, maybe Kelly Olynyk, maybe bring back James Johnson as well. So we do have some options in the offseason to sign power forwards, but it will be interesting to see which direction the Raptors go in during the offseason, because we know a lot of Raptors fans were saying we're going to have cap space and then we're going to have the ability to sign good players, set a nice team up, but this changes the direction of the team a little bit, because I feel like this would scare certain players from signing with the Raptors, knowing that Pascal is going to be out for some time. Now, as I've mentioned, he is expected to be out until approximately November, so he's going to miss a little bit of the start of the season, but you're probably going to have to load manage him throughout the season. So we'll have to wait and see how that works out with the Raptors and Pascal Siakam and how they're going to replace his offensive production. But it will be interesting to see how this offseason has completely taken a 360 turn on the Raptors, because we were talking about, signing guys, drafting certain players, but as I've mentioned, this changes everything, because we do have to add most likely a power forward for replacing Pascal Siakam temporarily. So we'll have to wait and see what Bobby Webster decides to do in this offseason. But it is some bad news for the Raptors. Unfortunately, we do see Pascal Siakam miss some time. I personally was really excited to see what Pascal could bring next season. He would have a full offseason of where he talked about he would work on his clutch game. He worked on his shooting a little bit. So I was really hoping Pascal Siakam would come back a lot stronger next season. We know he's been getting a lot of hate from fans this season, so it is unfortunate news, but let's wish Pascal a quick recovery, a speedy recovery, and hopefully he's back to being like himself. I know this is a setback, but we've seen guys with injuries come back better, so hopefully that's the case with Pascal Siakam. And if you guys are still watching this video, guys, thank you so much for watching. Have a great day.